Hi everyone. I have talked before about toilet training in another video, but I wanted today to think about what happens if you have done everything right and it still isn't working. That's when we need to channel our inner Sherlock Holmes to figure out what exactly is going on. So I've had a fair few greyhounds over the years, either as my own or as fosters like Floppy here, and the time taken to house train them has varied considerably. Some have been clean from day one, whilst others have taken months to be totally clean in the house. And it might go from peeing frequently, like this chap has been doing, to just the occasional accident. So it can take quite a long time before they are totally reliable. So with this subject having come up again now with Floppy here, I thought it would be a good idea to do another video. So if you have a dog who just doesn't seem to get the toilet training, or you're having problems after you thought it was resolved, you probably need to do some detective work and take a look at what is going on, what could be the cause. So let's take a look at some possible reasons. First of all, we need to rule out medical issues. The most obvious one is that your dog might have a urinary tract infection. So if they are wanting to pee more often than might be expected, or they're not able to hold it as long as they used to be, perhaps they're leaking or having accidents on their bedding, or maybe they're peeing a lot, then take a urine sample to the vet, get them checked out, because this is very easy to medicate for and very easy to resolve. Another issue if you have a female dog is that they have spay incontinence. Now this can occur in any female dog after neutering, and it doesn't always appear straight away. So don't assume that because the neutering operation was a couple of years ago that it couldn't still become an issue. Again, take them to the vet, have them checked out, and there is also medication that can be prescribed to resolve this problem very simply, and that is the matter dealt with. Once we have ruled out possible medical issues, then we need to think about what else is going on. The most obvious now is that they have got into the habit of toileting in the house. They've learned that it's okay. And once they've learnt that habit, then we need to unlearn it. It's not uncommon, unfortunately, with dogs who've lived in kennels that they don't see that it's a big deal to toilet in the house because they had to toilet in their own space before. It's important to clean the area really thoroughly so they're not attracted to toilet there again. And if they're tending to go in one certain place, as this chap is, he has two very specific locations where he pees now if he's going to do it, then preventing access to those locations is important as well, because you might be able to break the habit by not allowing them to pee in that certain place. And go back to basics with your house training, reinforcing the idea that toileting happens outside. So what about the situation where the dog just doesn't seem to be able to wait until you let them out? Perhaps they are asking to go out, but they're not managing to communicate this to you. I do find with greyhounds the sign that they want to go out can be very subtle. And if we don't understand that they're indicating this and we don't act in time, then we're going to have an accident. The chances are that they won't wake you up at night because they got up, they walked to the door, or just across the room for that matter, and nothing happened to help them, so they went. They're not necessarily going to bark and make enough of a commotion to get you out of bed. So here we could consider trying to teach them a noisier way to warn you, such as learning to ring a bell or press a button when that they want to go out. For some dogs, such as Floppy here, it is about how they feel. Now they may urinate out of fear because they're highly stressed, but even a mildly anxious dog can urinate because they're worried. It could be because they're feeling anxious or because this has become their go-to behavior when they feel that way. And we see this with Floppy on walks. He goes along peeing on this bush and that piece of grass and so on, but he doesn't sniff first and mark on top of another smell. It's just a case of, I gotta pee, I'm worried. So he does the same in the house. If anything too exciting happens, if anything worries him, he wheezes. Quite simple. It could also happen if your dog is scared of going outside. Perhaps something has happened in the garden, maybe there were loud noises, perhaps they're scared of the dark, but it might be that they don't feel comfortable going out into the space you have to let them into to toilet. They may also go into a different room. Perhaps they don't want to toilet in the main room, but perhaps they sneak off to another room to do it. And it appears that they're doing it somewhere where you won't see it, and that could be because they don't see that as part of their space. Sorry, am I sitting on your leg? But they might also try to hide from you because they're concerned about the reaction. So do ask yourself, how have you responded when they have previously toileted in the house? Are they doing their best not to cause an upset by going to another room? It could feel safer to go there than to do it where you can see them. Toileting when left home alone also comes into this category of toileting out of anxiety. And this is because the dog is anxious because you've left and they pee. It's not that you didn't take them out beforehand. The fact that their bladder in theory was empty before you left may be irrelevant. It's because you have gone out. And it can happen quite soon after you leave, not necessarily after a couple of hours or so. In these situations, we need to persevere with the training to encourage them to toilet outside, but also, more importantly, we need to work on their anxiety and we need to work on building confidence so that they can get to a state where they don't feel the need to toilet in the house. That's what we're working on with this chap. We're trying to get him to feel calmer, more relaxed, keep everything in a way that he can cope with, so this stress peeing doesn't happen so often. That's all for today. We'll be back again soon with more about Floppy and more about things relevant to all greyhounds. That's it then. Bye for now. Look out for new videos every Monday, and why not subscribe so you don't miss out?